Well, that ain't right. All right. Welcome to the YouTube walkthrough for the premium push-to-pass plugin package. First off, you're going to open up your zip file and extract it onto your computer. There's going to be three main pieces here: a plugins file, a remote control component, and a README. Go ahead and open up that README file. It's going to have the instructions on how to get you set up here. So it'll also include a link to the YouTube walkthrough once I finish recording this. And I would recommend that you watch this. Obviously, you are already. So open up your zip file. First thing you're going to do is load in the plugin. So if you're in SDK, go into the settings, scroll down to that overlay section. The fourth one down is called plugins. Hit the ellipses button. It's going to bring you into the plugins editor. You're going to hit import and find that push-to-pass plugin file. Open it up. It's going to come with two plugins. The first is called push-to-pass. The second one is called P2P column. We'll break down what each of these are doing. Go ahead and hit OK. Next up, you're going to want to load in the remote control component. And that is done by closing out the settings. Hit F2 to enter the edit mode on your remote control panel, and come down here where it says import from library. You're going to hit the arrow next to it, change that to import file, then click import file, and the same thing, find that place where you extracted the zip file and get that push to pass remote control component. That particular component is going to show up most likely down on your bottom left. It's this little purple P2P, and we'll come back to how to use that in a minute. First thing, though, we're going to want to do next is update the standings tower and the battle box remote control components to work with this plugin. So one of the features of this plugin is that it fixes the super formula data bug that iRacing has, where the push-to-pass data that comes through for super formula cars is a strange 10-digit number instead of the expected P2P value. This plugin has a workaround for that, and to get that to show up in your overlay, you're going to come down to this push-to-pass section on the standings tower and edit this entire row of buttons. Each of these sets a data field in the tower, 1 through 8, I believe. So if you come down to the editor on the remote control, you'll see for left mouse button click value, this is what we're going to be editing. I've actually already got it changed. Let's see what it usually says. So it usually says overlay.timingtable.data, and then the number of the field is equal to capital P, the number 2, lowercase p. For all of these across this row here, we're going to change them to say overlay.timingtable.data equals P, capital P, 2, lowercase p, capital S. And that's all the way across from data to data 8. I haven't done it all for this, but to make the edit, all you do is come in there, add the S, click outside the box, and you're done. Do that for each of those data columns. And then we're going to do something similar for the battle box. It's a little bit different though, because the battle box doesn't have a push to pass button there, as it's not supported until you add the plugin. So to make these buttons still in edit mode, pick any of these existing ones. We'll do it with pit stops right now, and select both the big button and the tiny one. In this case, this is data field 1 and data field 2 for the battle box, compared to the 8 over in the standings. If you hold control, you can pick multiple buttons at a time. And now that we've got these two selected, we're going to control C to copy, control V to paste. And now we have an extra set of buttons. You can bring it down here wherever you like it, but I think it makes the most sense in this list with everything else. And then you're going to go into edit. In the editor, in the text field, we're going to change the word pit stops to P2P, or whatever you want to call it. Push to pass, whatever makes sense to you. And then we're going to come down and edit that left mouse button click the same way we did for the standings. But in this one, we're going to change it to capital P to lowercase p, capital B, B for battle box, S for standings, but it's the same approach otherwise. Then the same thing for this second button, capital P to lowercase p, capital B. And from here, we can exit the editor. And now let's go ahead and take a look at our broadcast. Now I have a race going that has two classes, both IndyCar and Super Formula, so that we can show everything to do with this plugin working. So right now, let's go ahead and try the battle box first, since we already have that remote control panel up and in view. It is showing right now with no data field selected, so if we hit car number, we get car number just like we always did. If we hit license on that second box, we get license like we always did. Now, instead of license, let's hit P2P, and there it is. It's going to be a number, starts at 200 for both Super Formula and IndyCar and works the way down. They have slightly different rules with how they use them, but we don't need to get into that. But that, it's as easy as that. And there you can see when someone is using their P2P, it turns red in the battle box the same way it will in the standings. So now let's scroll over in our remote control panel and test out our push to pass standings data. And you can see it does exactly the same thing. For a person using it, it is red. So now you can use that push to pass data in the standings table for Super Formula cars. It fixes the bug for that. You can now also see push to pass in your battle box if you like. Now, the last feature, more for a broadcaster point of view, is you kind of want to know, who's using them up. You could pull up the standings table and try to read through the details, but why bother when you can shortcut it? So if you come down to that purple remote control panel for P2P and hit show, now we've got a summary of, ooh, and look right there. It just looks like I'm going to need to fix the Super Formula approach to that. Anyway, you can see how it works, though. The drivers who are using up the most push to pass and have the least remaining are in the top list. That's the top 5 drivers. Then in the bottom, it's going to be the 5 drivers who have saved the most push to pass so far. And again, right now, the fix I put in for Super Formula did not make its way over to this one. It will by the time I release it, though. But that gives you an idea of what this plugin package does. And last but not least, that we didn't get to it yet, there is some styling you need to put in. Sorry, I forgot that. So go down to open up your settings. At the bottom of the README file is where most of these styles overrides are. If you've never done that before, it's in that overlay section of settings, just above the plugins editor. You can open up your style overrides. And there's 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. There's 8 sections of CSS, 3 for the battle box, 3 for the standings, and 2 for this broadcaster overlay. And that is pretty much it for this one. Like I said, I will have this fixed before you download it so that those Super Formula values are showing up correctly. But I hope you enjoy. Let me know if you have any questions.